Greetings, fellow Obsidizens of the vast Obsidian community. Welcome to another video in the Obsidian for Noobs video series, featuring tutorials, tips, and tools for new users of the Obsidian personal knowledge management software. Well, my fellow Obsidizens, to my complete and gleeful amazement, my Obsidian for Noobs YouTube channel recently passed the 1-year mark. To celebrate this happy occasion and to express my most sincere gratitude to all my subscribers and viewers, I've decided to offer a free giveaway of my new book, the Obsidian Quick Reference. The Kindle version of the Obsidian Quick Reference will be available for a free download from Amazon on Sunday, April 5th and Monday, April 6th. The book provides the bare-bones information needed to use 23 essential Obsidian tools and features. I'll show the book's table of contents and a few sample sections later in this video, so you can get a good idea of what it offers and how it's structured. The Obsidian Quick Reference is actually my second Obsidian book. My first book is titled Obsidian for Noobs, and I originally created this YouTube channel as an adjunct to that book. I'd like to take a moment now to briefly describe the main differences between these two books. Obsidian for Noobs is intended primarily as a learning guide, although it works well as a reference manual also. It has many illustrations so that you can see what's being described, and it provides step-by-step instructions to walk you through the use of Obsidian's basic features. This book is offered only in paperback format and is 8.5 by 11 inches. The Obsidian Quick Reference, on the other hand, is, as its title suggests, intended as a helpful quick lookup guide. It covers 23 essential Obsidian features, describing what each feature is, what it's used for, and how to use it. There are no illustrations in this book, although it does provide step-by-step instructions for how to use the basics of each feature. If you are completely new to Obsidian with no experience using it, then the Obsidian for Noobs book would probably be more helpful in helping you to learn Obsidian, although the Obsidian Quick Reference would certainly complement the Noobs book nicely in this regard. If, however, you already have some limited experience using Obsidian and need a reference guide to show you how to use various features or to refresh your memory about particular features, then the Obsidian Quick Reference would probably be more appropriate. But you are, of course, the best judge of which book might serve you best, if any. And so to help you in making that determination, I'll now present a brief overview of each book to give you a better idea of what each book offers and how they're structured. Okay, I've got the Obsidian for Noobs book on screen now. I'm using the PDF version to demonstrate it because it's more clear, but the paperback version, which is what's for sale at Amazon, is laid out exactly the same way. Let's look at the table of contents first so you can see exactly what the book covers. Chapter 1 goes over the basic components of Obsidian, its documents, its storage system, Markdown, and links. Chapter 2 covers the user interface. Chapter 3 is how to navigate around Obsidian, the various components of the interface, and how to work with them. Chapter 4 is an extensive chapter covering various aspects of notes, and notes, as I think you know, are the most fundamental component of an Obsidian vault, so there's a lot to say about them. Note content, formatting, tables, callouts, using the right-click menu, templates, and reading view versus editing view. Chapter 5 covers canvases in detail. What they are, how to create them, what can be put inside them, the concept of cards, the canvas right-click menu, and how to navigate around a canvas. Chapter 6 discusses some different ways of customizing Obsidian. First of all, Obsidian settings, themes, plugins, and a brief introduction to CSS, or cascading style sheets. Chapter 7 is how you get help. Appendix 1 is a how do I quick reference. I'll go over that in detail because that's really handy. Appendix 2 is a huge picture of the Obsidian user interface. Appendix 3 are the topics I didn't cover. And Appendix 4 is hotkeys. Let's take a look at some of the chapters so you can see in detail how this book is laid out and what it offers. We'll go first to Chapter 1. Chapter 1 covers Obsidian's basic components. This is the logical place to begin learning about Obsidian. I break it down into 3 groups of components: documents, storage system, and features. And within each group, there are 2 subcomponents. Documents covers notes and canvases. The storage system involves vaults and folders. And the main features involve Markdown and links. And I make the point that if you can learn these 6 concepts, you've learned enough to be able to create Very useful vaults with Obsidian. There's a lot more to Obsidian than what's covered here, but this is the bare bones basics in order for you to actually start working productively with Obsidian. And I naturally go into each of these in detail as the chapter progresses. So notes and canvases, a discussion of the storage system, what can be stored where, what vaults are, and so forth. Let's move on to a different chapter now. I'm in section 4.4 now of chapter 4, which covers tables. And you can see it starts with what are tables? Again, there's a logical structure to everything. I've walked you through it from the most basic ideas you need to know, and then going into details and finally how to do things with these various features. So I describe what a table is, what a cell is. Then we go into how to create tables. There's a couple of ways to do that. Then how to navigate around a table. And then how to perform operations with tables. And you can see there are many illustrations, so you can visualize exactly what's happening as you work in the book. And you can see tables is covered quite extensively in this book. We'll take a peek at one more chapter, chapter 5, which is working with canvases. Again, that logical structure, what is a canvas? How to create a canvas. What can be put inside a canvas? The concept of cards, which are the most fundamental component of a canvas. And then how to work with cards. And again, lots of illustrations, lots of step-by-step directions. I really intended this book to be for people new to Obsidian, to really let you learn it from the get-go, even if you have no experience. All right, finally, let's take a look at the How Do I appendix. Right, I said a little while ago that the Obsidian for Noobs books is intended primarily as a learning guide, and the Obsidian Quick Reference is intended mainly as a quick reference document. But the Obsidian for Noobs book actually can function quite well as a reference also. Appendix 1 is How Do I Quick Reference. And what I do here is I list the various questions you might ask. For example, how do I create a new vault? How do I use tabs? How do I use the outline panel? How do I work with links? How do I create an assets or attachments folder? And so forth and so on. And for each one of these, I target you to the section number and the page number in the book where you can find it. I use this thing myself quite a bit because there's a lot to know for Obsidian, and things that I don't use frequently I forget about. So I refer to this very often, and now I even use the new Quick Reference book more. But it's very handy to, if you want to do something like, for example, how do I create a call out? If I don't remember how to do that, I just find it here, pages 55 to 58. I shoot to those pages and I can see exactly what I need to do. And you can see this How Do I appendix is pretty extensive. So that's a quick overview of my Obsidian for Noobs book. Hopefully that gives you a sense of the book's content and structure. As for the Quick Reference book, I'm going to now show a video of an overview of its contents and structure. This time I'm using the paperback version. But remember, the free giveaway is for the Kindle version only. But both formats are virtually the same, with only very minor differences. I wanted to show you the books side by side so you can get an idea of the relative sizes. Their Quick Reference is much smaller than the Noobs book. Let's take a look at the table of contents. I'll zoom in so you can get a better look at it. As you can see, there are 23 separate features discussed. They're all the basic features you use routinely in Obsidian: notes, links, callouts, tables, canvases, templates, tags, and so forth. Let's take a look at some specific examples. Here's the entry for tables. For every feature discussed in the book, except for the first one, except for the user interface, but 22 of the 23 features are all laid out in the same pattern. I tell you what they are, what they're used for, and how to create and use them. So you can see with the example of tables, what it is, what they are, what they're used for, and then step-by-step instructions on how to create tables. And those instructions continue on the other side. The idea is that you look up a particular feature and you immediately see the whole story related to it. And there's the continuation of the instructions. There are 2 ways to create tables in Obsidian, so I go through each method step by step. All right, let's look at templates now. Again, you see that same pattern. What they are, what they're used for, and how to create and use them. And the continuation of the step-by-step instructions on the other side. And again, for canvases, we see the same pattern. Now, canvases are very involved. So there's a lot more to them. I'm not going to show you all the pages for canvases. I don't want to give away the whole book. But you can see that I'm consistent with this pattern. What canvases are, what they're used for, how to create them. Then I go on to say how to navigate around them. And on the other pages, even more information. The Obsidian Quick Reference, available from Amazon. So there you have it. Brief overviews of my 2 Obsidian books, and the free giveaway of the Obsidian Quick Reference Kindle version on Sunday, April 5th and Monday, April 6th, 2026. I want to sincerely thank the many people who watch my videos, and especially those of you who have subscribed to this YouTube channel, and also, of course, the people who have bought my books. I never imagined that this channel would grow to the size it has. You all have made an old man very, very happy. Okay, fellow Obsidizens, that's all I have for now. I'll see you in the next video. Happy note-taking.